Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS. Now it's real time, sponsored by the Mill Casino.
Welcome back, everyone. We've got Jeremy Johns here in the studio, a.k.a. the Kokanee Kid. It's good to see you, man.
Hey, how's it going, brother?
The Kokanee Kid's starting to get a little gray there, so maybe
I am.
Kokanee man, Kokanee old man.
Well, probably Kokanee grandpa here pretty soon. But
I love it, man. It's your time of year.
It is. Yeah, we're getting there. Yep, it's coming on. I'm pretty excited about this year.
Yeah.
Especially for Odell. Been getting reports from Scott Walters jigging up there, which is...
Oh, yeah.
So I always watch the reports, kind of see what size fish that we're looking for. Fish look oversized this year, which was what I was expecting for the next year's fish I was catching later in the season. So catching them, he said he did get you a 14-incher.
All right.
Which when I'm up there July and August, that thing should be 16 and a half, almost 17, which is super exciting for Oregon.
So that just means that it's early on in the season. The fish are a little bit smaller. They got plenty of time to feed and grow between now and then.
Yep.
And you're looking forward to the bigger ones.
I am looking forward to the bigger ones, yep.
Now, you travel all over the country pretty much. I mean, you're heading to Utah. You got other places that you go.
Yep.
Is that your primary mission when you're chasing these fish around from state to state? Is size, quantity? What do you look for?
I'm looking for size. So if I travel somewhere, I'm looking to catch something over 20 inches. I mean, that's my goal.
Sure.
That's what I want to do. So I did go to Wiki up on the opener. I was really disappointed in the size. There were some bigger fish caught, but last year the smallest one we got was 17 inches. So
oh, wow.
And this year they were running 14 to 15. So they were smaller than what I expected. So
same thing though, they still have plenty of time to kind of get larger as we go.
They will get larger, but for me personally, that lake's pretty shallow. They do eat a lot of bugs in that lake, and the taste, in my opinion, goes downhill.
Okay. You're well known for that. I remember us talking about that last time we had you on. And here in a little bit, we're going to pull up the Kershaw Tech Cam. I'm going to show you some of the buggy style of baits that he makes and does sell, of course. And some of them are just beautiful. Many, and you're so well known for it, too. I mean, people literally try to chase you down at your home to take delivery of different products that you put together for folks to be successful.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, actually, yesterday I had somebody go into Wiki Up. He'd never fished it before, wanted to pick up some Wiki Up mosquitoes, and then I gave him some tips on where I would go, where I would fish, and so let's hope he does good.
Yeah, well, we've actually, last time we had you on, there were some folks that had called and at least shared that, or at least it was on our Facebook page, that they had contacted you to ask some info, and you were forthright with whatever questions it was that they were asking. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, kokanee fishing, the nice thing about it is there's lots of fish to catch, so I think people are more into giving out information and helping people catch. I mean, I don't care how many fish people catch, and there's tons of them out there.
You're just going to get your own anyway.
So yeah, I just want them to have a good time out on the lake. So I mean, my motto is tackling information to get you in the game. So I mean, I've been on the phone for hours talking to people. You know, you get somebody new that doesn't know anything, and you start from square one, or somebody that just wants to learn a little bit about a lake or what the conditions are for that lake. So
well, we got a pretty significant holiday coming up tomorrow. It's Mother's Day.
We do.
If there was somebody out there watching, they want, you know, we got maybe a little bit of rain coming, which is not a bad thing. If there's somebody watching and they like to fish in Oregon, you know, Central Coast or Central Coast, Central Oregon or whatever, is there a lake or an impoundment currently that might be a better option than another?
I mean, if you're looking for numbers, Lake Billy Chinook's been fishing really, really well.
Okay.
Up the Metolius Arm. I got a buddy, Brett, that's been sending me pictures weekly of catching his limits out of there. You can keep 10 kokanee per person per day, so they have a 5-fish bonus limit on kokanee, and then you can keep 5 trout, and you can exchange the trout for kokanee. So you got to watch some regulations. They do have a weird regulation. They can't keep a kokanee over 16 inches at Lake Billy Chinook.
Wow.
And that's because they bring sockeye from below the dams and dump them into the reservoir in hopes that they'll spawn. So they do tag them, but so there's some weird regulations. I always recommend looking at your regulations before you go hit a lake, but that's one of the weird regulations that they have at Lake Billy Chinook. Can't keep a kokanee over 16 inches.
Oh, that sucks.
You won't have that issue.
You get that 18-incher and you got to let it go.
I know. So you won't have that issue this time right now, but maybe later in the summer you might have to release some kokanee, which is horrible. But
now some of the other lakes that are down there that are more popular, you know, you mentioned Odell.
Detroit.
Yeah,
Detroit would be a good one. The fishing, it seems like when a weather system's coming in, has been going off, and then once the system comes through Probably, I heard some reports from yesterday that the fishing was a little difficult, but I would suspect that by the time this cold front comes in, that the fishing will ramp back up. And jigging's phenomenal up at Odell right now, so that would be another winner. Jigging on the bottom at the west end. So they're eating little bugs. They're hanging right on the bottom. So they've been having the jigs hit the bottom and then just pulling them up slightly. And they've been doing pretty good over there.
And that's a pretty deep water spot.
It's about 110 feet.
Yeah, 110 feet. A lot of people these days aren't anchoring anymore. Yeah. They're all spot locking with bow mounts. Makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, and that photo that they're showing right now, that's from Scott Walters, the Lucky Duck, and I'm getting all the information from him. But really nice size.
You can't miss his boat.
No, you can't miss his boat, yeah. But a really great guy, gives out lots of good information. And so, yeah, but he's been doing pretty good, and he should be up there pretty much. I mean, this is the first time in 4 years that they've seen him in the West Bay feeding on the bottom. So, and they're full of food. So July, August, they're going to be big.
All right. Is that where you spend your time in July,
August, and then into September? That's my fishery, and that's where I'll be pretty much week in, week out, yeah.
And the jigging fishery, correct me if I'm wrong anywhere here, kind of goes away after a while. Later on in the season, you start trolling.
Yeah, so as the water temperature warms up, they'll want to follow presentations instead of hitting them like they're in their area. So when the water temperature's cold, they're feeding, jig comes down, they have two options. They can swim away from it or they can hit it. Water temperature's cold, they're not as active, so they're going to slam a jig. Once the water temperature warms up, the jig season's pretty much over. If I see somebody jigging out there, they're usually not catching very many fish. So then you got to go into the trolling, then they're wanting to go through the schools. They're moving around really fast, and they're wanting to follow presentations and hit them, so that's when the troll bite starts happening.
So this time of year, again, it's almost the middle of May, on these impoundments, other than Odell, it's a troll show. Is there any place else that people are jigging right now? So
Paulina Lake the gate is supposedly supposed to open up the 14th, which is Wednesday.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that because I'm not actually opening the gate. And the Paulina Lake Lodge will be open on that Friday at 11 o'clock. That's another lake that's fantastic for jigging.
Okay.
But it's not open quite yet. So
gotcha.
They normally have it open up before Memorial Day, but because of the weather that we've been having, the snow's melting pretty fast, so they're planning on opening it up early. So I should be getting some reports from that, but I haven't gotten any yet. But that's another fantastic lake to jig.
Do you spend a lot of time jigging each year, or you're just a troller?
Just trolling.
So you're following your electronics, you're following your gear, and you're just covering.
So I'm hitting more lower elevation lakes, Detroit, Wickiup, and then I usually like hitting Wallowa early in the season, partly because the guy that has the world record told me last 2 weeks of May, first 2 weeks of June is when you want to catch the big one, so that's usually when I go up there.
And he's got the record.
He's got the world record.
Yeah, okay, so you probably want to pay attention a little bit.
Ron
if he's got something to say, you probably want to listen. All right, we're going to cut to a break. When we come back, we're going to have our Chevy Silverado Tech Tip of the Week. And I'm not sure exactly what we're going to cover here, but we're going to lean on Jeremy here. And I know that I want to show you a couple of his baits, because you mentioned it earlier. They're just buggy.
They're buggy this time of year.
Maybe the Tech Tip is fishing bugs, something buggy or a shrimpy kind of looking thing.
Right.
Kind of going from there. But we'll have that with Jeremy when we come back from this break.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by Chevy Silverado and the impressive Turbo Max engine. Flex your muscle with the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. Official truck of Outdoor GPS.